Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's your boy DLloyd, and we are back, you guys. Yesterday, we went over my top Western Conference teams. Today, we're going to be going over my top Eastern Conference teams, my power rankings. I am recording this on July 14th. It is a Saturday. Summer League isn't quite over, just about over, and free agency should be dying down. But just in case some other moves did happen, I am on vacation, so I'm not going to know about it while I'm making this video. So it is my power rankings as of July 14th. And like I said, today we are going with the Eastern Conference. So go ahead and jumping straight into it. At number 15, I am rocking with the Atlanta Hawks. I have them number 15 in the Eastern Conference. Just don't think they're that great of a team. Trae Young, he's more of a project more than a fix right now. Yes, they also got Jeremy Lin. I think that is good. That's going to lead the way, of course, for Schroeder to be traded. But we don't know what they're going to get back in exchange for Schroeder as of right now. So if Dennis Schroeder is traded by you watching this video, I don't know about it as of right now. So we're rocking with Atlanta Hawks at number 15. Maybe they can move up a couple of spots, but I do think they are a work in progress and clearly in a rebuild situation. At 14, I have the Orlando Magic. The Orlando Magic did get a little bit better, in my opinion, and I am excited for Mohamed Bamba. I think he will help out this Orlando Magic squad. I just don't think they're ready this year to really move up and become that much of a better team. Orlando, I think they have promise. They have some young guys. They were able, like I said, to get Mo Bamba back, draft Mo Bamba. I think that was a very good signing for them. But for the Orlando Magic, I truly don't see them competing for a playoff position for a few seasons from now. They did get Aaron Gordon. That's going to help them out a little bit as well. But the Orlando Magic, 14th best team in the Eastern Conference. At 13, we have the Brooklyn Nets. Now, the Brooklyn Nets, I think, are one of those teams that have a lot of young pieces, but they're not going to truly ascend until the summer of 2019. I think this year they're just trying to position themselves in a good position for the summer 19 where they can truly attack it and then become one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. I think for them this year, they want to see what they have out of some of the players they currently have. They want to really see if Spencer Dinwiddie could be that guy, if he could really have another solid year, because he kind of came out of nowhere a little bit, had a good year last year. Can he do that again? They want to see what they could get out of D'Angelo Russell. Is he going to be the point guard of the future? They have to decide before they offer him an extension, because as of right now of recording this, he doesn't have an extension, and they haven't talked to him about a possible extension. From what I'm hearing, that's not going to happen until they see what he could do and how he performs this season. So he should be motivated, but really for Brooklyn, they just want to make sure they have cap space for summer 2019, and they want to see what they could get out of some of their young guys so they know how to move forward with them. So Brooklyn, I have them at 13. At number 12, we have the Charlotte Hornets. For Charlotte, they're in that situation where, to me, they need to truly rebuild, but it's tough for them to rebuild because of that salary cap situation. They lost Dwight Howard. That is going to be a blow for them. They have Kemba Walker. We don't know how much longer he's going to be there. But as long as Kemba is there, they're going to be an okay team. They're always going to have a chance to win some games. I believe in Kemba Walker that much. I think this guy's a top 10 point guard in the NBA for sure. So I think for Charlotte, they're going, definitely going to not be that great. I think they're going to eventually have to make a move, make a trade, and decide to go into this rebuild situation. But for Charlotte, we have them at number 12. At 11, that's where we're going to slot the Cleveland Cavaliers. Yes, I have Cleveland at number 11. I don't think they will make the playoffs this year, even in the Eastern Conference, without LeBron James. I think he made that much of a difference. They come here, they have a young core in terms of, I don't know what they're going to do with Kevin Love, but they're going to have a young core to try to build around in the future. And I think that starts with Colin Sexton. I think Colin Sexton has been performing well during Summer League. I don't know how much that's going to translate into NBA action, but I do like Colin Sexton. I think that's a guy they do need to focus on and build around. Jordan Clarkson, he's going to get an opportunity. Rodney Hood, he may be able to get an opportunity. But for Cleveland, you have Kevin Love. He's the guy you have to play through. Like I said, I don't know if they're going to trade him or not, but he's the guy you have to play through right now. see what these young guys could do. And then at that point, you start going into that rebuild situation, but now you kind of know who you're rolling with moving forward or not. So similar situation, some of these other teams think they're in that situation here in Cleveland. I just think they have a better roster start to finish than the teams that I listed before. But at number 10, I'm rocking with the Chicago Bulls. They have a young core. They just added Jabari Parker. I think they're even more exciting now. Wendell Carter Jr., I think he's going to be a good fit. I think Markkanen is going to take a step forward this year. I think Zach LaVine, he's also going to take a step forward this year. I'm intrigued to see what Chris Dunn could do for the Chicago Bulls. He's definitely going to be a question mark, but I'm intrigued to see what he can do. Chicago, a very promising young core. I don't think they quite get there for the playoffs this year, but I definitely think they are in the hunt for the playoffs. It can go either way. Maybe they develop a little bit quicker, and then Chicago could try to sneak into that 8th seed. I don't think it actually happens as of now, but they are a very intriguing team to watch. They're going to be a fun team to watch. If you're a Chicago fan, you guys are definitely building something, so you should be excited for that. I think Chicago in a few years will be a great team. I think we're just now in the beginning stages of that, and it should be interesting to see if they're able to sneak into the playoffs or not. But who I have at number 9, we have the New York Knicks. They're not going to have Kristaps Porzingis this year. If they did, I think they will be a playoff team. But Kevin Knox, he's been super, super impressive during the summer league. Will that translate over? I actually believe a little bit of it will. No, he's not going to be scoring 30 points a game, 20 points a game, but I think he will be a solid 15-point-a-game scorer. I think he does help out that New York Knicks squad. They're still looking for who's going to step up without Porzingis, but I think they're good enough, to make noise, to be able to still compete, to try to make that playoff spot. I don't think they will. That's why I have them at 9 as opposed to 8. But I definitely think New York, they will compete. They will have an opportunity to do that. And the Knicks, they're building something as well. Maybe not as promising as the Chicago Bulls, but they have something down there in New York. I look forward to Mitchell Robinson. I think that he's going to be a sleeper and a guy who's going to have a very solid season for the New York Knicks as well. But I have them at number 9. At number 8, the team that barely sneaks into the playoffs, but they're going to at least make the playoffs. I have the Miami Heat at number 8. We don't know Dwayne Wade's situation. Is he going to retire, or is he going to try to bring him back? We're not quite sure. We don't even know if they're going to land Carmelo Anthony. Right now, Carmelo Anthony is the favorite to go to Houston. By the time you guys watch this video, maybe Carmelo Anthony has a situation where he knows where he's going to go. But for the Miami Heat, don't know truly what they're going to do with some players. But Hassan Whiteside, he should be back. I don't think he's moving anywhere. I think he will remain a member of the Miami Heat. And if so, I think the Heat do sneak into the playoffs and they get the 8th seed. They don't get much further at all. Of course, you lose in the first round, but I think the Heat do enough to get into the playoffs. But at some point for Miami, you got to figure out who your guys are going to be, and you also need to start thinking about the future as well. At number 7, a team I think is promising, and they are on the up, the Detroit Pistons. I have them at 7. I think bringing in Dwayne Casey is definitely going to help out a lot. He will come up with the strategy. He will be able to put these players in a position where they can win games. I think Detroit will follow through. I think they'll be able to win games. And I think this is definitely a turning point for this Detroit organization. I think they will be a playoff team for a few years down the road with what they currently have. Maybe they can add some additions later, but I do like them. I think they will be in the playoffs. Do they advance? Are they one of the better teams in the East? Not yet, but they are promising. If you're a Detroit Pistons fan, should be excited for what you got because you guys will be in the playoffs this year. Now, at number 6, have the Milwaukee Bucks. They lost Jabari Parker. Not a huge deal. I think it just gives more room for Giannis Antetokounmpo to really come into his own and become finally a true MVP candidate. I think that's what he could do this season with Milwaukee. This is clearly his team. It was his team last year, but now there's no distractions. Nobody trying to butt heads with you. This is clearly your team. You're getting the keys, and now go ahead and run with it. I think Giannis will be able to do just that. I think they'll make the playoffs, of course, have a pretty good series in there. Maybe move on to round 2 in the playoffs as well, depending on who that matchup exactly is. But I think Giannis has a fantastic year. I think he's going to carry this team, and they're going to make some noise, of course. Now, moving on to number 5, we have the Indiana Pacers. For Indiana, they're bringing back their solid core. Really didn't lose anything that hurt them. Yes, you lost Lance Stevenson. He's going to hurt you a little bit, but I think you're going to be just fine. Aaron Holiday, I like him as well. But for the Pacers, I think Victor Oladipo takes another step in that right direction. I think he's really coming into his own even more this season for the Pacers. I think they're going to be the 5th best team in the Eastern Conference. I like them. I like their squad. I like the coach. Like the organization. Like a lot about Indiana doing things the right way. And I think they have another solid year this year. They don't face LeBron James in the playoffs. That would be a good thing for them as well. Now at number 4, I'm hoping they get their stuff together. If they're able to get this locker room under control, the Washington Wizards could be a problem. It could be a sleeper in the Eastern Conference. So I have Washington at number 4. You have John Wall coming back. You have Bradley Beal coming back. You have Porter coming back as well. And you add a Dwight Howard. I think he's an upgrade from what they had before. I think for the Washington Wizards, they are in a position where if they could get along enough in that locker room, where they can focus on basketball, where they can be consistent. That's one of the most important things of the Washington Wizards. They like to play down to the competition, and they're not very consistent at all. If they can somehow figure this thing out, I think Washington is a very, very good team. I've been thinking this for a few years. They just can't get everything to work together. If they can, Washington could potentially move up a couple of spots from here. If not, they could potentially move down a few spots from this 4th spot. They will make the playoffs. I think they're clearly a playoff team, unless it's just a crazy injury to either John Wall or a Bradley Beal. They will make the playoffs, but like I said, they could move up a few spots. They could move down a few spots, just depending on what that locker room culture is going to be like as we get through the season. But the Washington Wizards, an extremely talented team. When you look at them on paper, they should be one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference, but we'll see how everything turns out. Now at number 3, the Toronto Raptors, the team that had the number 1 seed last year. They're going to fall 2 spots to number 3. I think losing Dwayne Casey as a coach is going to be a hit. The roster staying the same, but I do think it's going to be a hit not having Dwayne Casey. And they're also going to fall victim to the other teams just got a little bit better as well. The Raptors, they don't have to play LeBron. That is a good thing for them because LeBron had them mentally just not ready to play every time they played them in the playoffs. So that's a good thing. Maybe they are more confident heading into series against some of these other teams. Toronto Raptors, I think they will be an okay team in terms of, in the playoffs, I mean, in terms of success. I think, of course, they make it to the second round. I'm not much more convinced they get past the second round. And I'm huge on Dwayne Casey. I think he's one of the better coaches. I love what he did tactically with Toronto, and you lose that. So I do think they take a little bit of hit, but they're still going to be a very relevant team, still one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference, and they're going to finish with the 3rd seed, in my opinion, as of now. But here we're going to number 2, and it's going to be the Philadelphia 76ers. Ben Simmons coming back another year. Joel Embiid, he's back another year. Dario Saric, he's back. Even you're going to bring back J.J. Redick, who took a little bit of a pay cut, and that's good. That's helping out Philly as well. If Kawhi Leonard is going to get traded to an Eastern Conference team, I believe it will be the Philadelphia 76ers, but I did not make this list with any trades like that in mind. But still have Philly, the number 2 team. I think they take a step forward once again. They have some playoff pedigree now under their belt, so I think they're ready, they're more equipped to actually compete with some of these bigger teams. I think for Philly, they're going to have a fantastic year, and it's going to be one of the best years in a long time for the city of Philadelphia, and 76ers fans should definitely be excited for this young core that you have and what you're going to do this season. I think it's going to be a great year for Philly. Now, at number 1, the Boston Celtics, of course. You've seen what they did last season, and that was without Gordon Hayward for basically the entire year. You also seen what they did in the second half of last season, And that was mostly done without your star player in Kyrie Irving. So Jason Tatum, I think he'll take a step forward this year. Jaylen Brown, he will take another step forward this year. You're always going to stay consistent with Al Horford. So I do like what the Boston Celtics bring. But then you add in Gordon Hayward, who should have a good year, who's able to sit back and really observe everything from that sideline. I think that will bring a different perspective to his game this year. Kyrie Irving, I think he'll be motivated because he wants to show to everybody that he is that guy, and they're going to need him to win. That's going to be a huge thing for Boston. I do think they ultimately bring back Marcus Smart. We do not know as of now what he is going to do and what Boston's going to do, but I think ultimately he lands back in Boston, and if that's the case, he definitely helps out that second unit and helps out that bench as well. And Terry Rozier, he'll be back. He'll have another decent year for Boston as well. So I think Boston, they're stacked across the board in terms of their roster. I think they're clearly the best team, and they're clearly the favorites to get out of this Eastern Conference and make it to the NBA Finals. But we'll see what happens. But you guys let me know what you guys think about my list in the comment section below. Once again, let me know. Am I overrating some teams, underrating some teams, or is there some sleeper teams that I'm simply not really talking about? Let me know how you guys feel about it in the comment section below. And also, tell me, who do you think are some of the best teams in the Eastern Conference? Let me know how you guys feel about that also in the comment section below. It's your boy DLloyd. I'm going to see y'all next time. Peace.